Hey, it's Dean Soto with Freedom in 5 Minutes, and this video, let's talk about how can I stop being the bottleneck in my business. This will be a nice short video, but an important video. I'm going to grab my coffee. Good coffee. Good coffee. So I get this a lot is how do I stop being a bottleneck in my business? And it's not the easiest question to answer for most people because a lot of the times it's built around habits. It's built around habits that they've created that don't allow them to do the necessary things that would get them out of being a bottleneck. Okay. So what do I mean by bottleneck? Bottleneck in your business means that people are still coming to you for day-to-day stuff. So for example, there might be a fire. So a customer has some curveball answer or curveball question, and what's the first thing that happens? The customer support people come to you and they say, "Hey, how do I answer this question? I don't know how to answer this thing, right?" Or it might be something where you are the only one that can approve something, right? You're the only one who can approve something. That's that can be a bottleneck where if everything has to go through you, then at some point in time, if you're on vacation, if you're out sick, if you have a family thing, if you have whatever it might be, you are the bottleneck. Work will cease until you get back, right? It could be something where you take on a task that you don't allow other people to do as well. And that makes you a bottleneck and makes it to where work essentially stops. All in all, there are several different types of bottlenecks where you can actually be a stumbling block to your business moving forward without you. But I'm just going to give some quick, I would say 3 tips. Let's say 3 tips real quick on how to avoid becoming a bottleneck in your business and some things that you can do to make that happen. So tip number 1 is obviously if you don't have a team, if you're the only one that's actually in your business right now, hire a team. Get a team. There's ways that you can do it where if you have somebody that you know it personally, you can have them work. If you have the cash, you have the ability, hire them, even if it's part-time, even if it's 5 hours a week or whatever, start building a team now. You can always go to freedomin5minutes.com and get a super, super, super cheap virtual systems architect who can be a member of your team, much cheaper than somebody who would be here domestically, and plus they'll build your systems, which we'll talk about in just a second. But get somebody on your team. If you're still the only person in your business, then you're going to have that problem, right? You're going to have that problem of being the bottleneck because literally there's nobody else that can do things. And you can't automate yourself out of a business with just technical automation. So if you're thinking, well, I can just get Infusionsoft, or I can just get this, or I can get this tool or that tool, you'll never be able to fully automate yourself out of a business with just technical automation. Technical has to be in line with human automation as well, okay, and human systems. So if you don't have a team, if you're the only one doing anything right now, you got to start building your team in some fashion or another. Okay, so if you already have a team, or if you already have the idea of creating a team, and you're, hey, I'm going to do it. I got to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. The next thing is to get out of the habit of training. Okay, get out of the habit of training. And what do I mean by that? I hate training. Training is a 4-letter word. Training sucks because you're going to have to spend a lot of time with one person, get everything that's out of your head, and hopefully they get it. And it takes 4, 5, 6 months before they are totally 100% trained on whatever it is that you want. And then they leave, right? Or they go on vacation. They are humans too. They need to have time to themselves, right? So training sucks. What you need to do in that case, with training, is really what you need to do is you need to start thinking in processes and systems, writing things down step by step in excruciating detail. Documented, not video, not where you're showing people how to do something on a video where they have to bring it up all the time. There are ways that you can use video to get things documented, like at Freedom in 5 Minutes. That's the Freedom in 5 Minutes method. However, start writing things down in detail. Whether it's you or whether it's the person who you hired, it needs to be very step by step into a process. And each one of those processes that documented go into a bigger system. Okay. They can take it, open it up, and go, oh, okay, well, I need to do accounts payable. So this is the first thing I have to do is I have to log into QuickBooks, and then I have to do this, then I have to do that, then I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and it's just boom, 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 step by step. So if they're gone, if you can bring somebody literally off the street, that's how good it needs to be, how detailed it needs to be, off the street process. That you can take somebody who has no experience whatsoever, give it to them, and they would, as long as they can read English or whatever language you're using, as long as they can read, they can do that particular process. Okay. And number three is that you have to be okay with letting go. You have to be okay with letting go and building these systems and know that once that process is done and complete, you don't have to do that ever again, right? So for example, in our business, we have 200 and something processes, 200 and something process documents. I know that when I'm out, everybody can do the things that I was doing. And I know that if somebody's out, I can do whatever anybody's doing, and my entire staff can do whatever needs to be done, because it's that step by step. Okay. So do I ever fear that something's not going to get done? No, because I have the process in place. I have the documentation in place. I have the systems in place. I don't fear that it's never going to get done. And so I am totally 100% okay with delegating to my staff whatever it is I need them to do. And that's a hard thing for a lot of business owners to delegate, because they want to make sure that gets done right. And if you're training people and you're constantly going back and forth, I totally get it. Yeah, that's not going to happen, because you hope that you instilled everything into their mind that you needed them to do. But if it's not written down, if it's not actually a process, I fully agree with you. You should be scared. You should be wary that it's actually going to happen. Okay. So build a team. Tip number 2, start thinking in processes, not training. And number 3, be okay with delegating. But really the only way you're going to be okay with delegating truly is if you have process documents. If everything is done in a process, everything's done in a step-by-step process. Yeah, guess what? It sucks writing those processes down. It takes hours and hours and hours. The cool thing about the Freedom in 5 Minute method, you can actually do it in 5 minutes at a time. You go to freedomin5minutes.com. There's a masterclass that goes through the whole entire method. You can actually take that and use it and start doing things in 5 minutes. Start creating process documents in 5 minutes, and then start living a free life. That's why it's called Freedom in 5 Minutes. Every 5 minutes that you spend, you never have to do that process ever again. If you already have a team, boom, give it to them. If you want a virtual systems architect, which they're so much cheaper, so much better than anything that's out there. They are people who are extremely skilled and are able to take what you're doing right now, document it, and then implement it. So every 5 minutes that you spend is freedom. You never have to do that task ever again. You could go to freedomin5minutes.com and check that out. But those are the 3 things. Those are the 3 things to stop being a bottleneck in your business. You never want to be that bottleneck. So once again, so build a team. If you don't already have a team, go to freedomin5minutes.com, get a virtual systems architect. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Number 2 is start thinking in processes and systems and start documenting those systems. Number 3, be okay with delegating. But really the only way that's going to happen is if you do number 1 and number 2, and then 3 will follow. because it's simply the easiest way to actually start delegating is when you have those systems, when you have those processes. All right, so this is Dean Soto with Freedom in 5 Minutes. I'll check you out on the next video. Hopefully this is helpful, and I'll be answering some more questions that I get in the near future. All right, have a great one. Go check out freedomin5minutes.com.